Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to come and have a catch-up as to what's happening with the fires across Queensland. Peter Hollier, I'm the Acting Assistant Commissioner, Rural Fire Service, Queensland Fire and Emergency Services. Joining me today is Deputy Commissioner Marcus from the Queensland Police Service. Just an update where we're up to in relation to the current fire activity. So currently there's over 60 active fires that are burning across Queensland, and with the extreme fire dangers we've had today, particularly across the western parts of the state, that's put pressure on a number of the containment lines that we've had and the work that we've been doing over the last number of days. Of concern was still the Tara fire, where in the northwest side of the fire they had some pressure on the line there today, and as you can appreciate, with the very strong and gusty wind conditions that we've experienced, that's made firefighting very difficult today. The Mooney fire, which again is in the southwest part of the state, has had quite a significant run of fire today, and again they're working very hard to try and get that fire under control. At this point in time they'll be working well and truly into tonight, working on that fire in relation to trying to establish containment lines. Mount Isa, there's a number of fires in and around Mount Isa now. That fire again has made quite a significant run of fire today, and the one particularly to the north and the northwest has certainly caused us some concern, and those fires again will be looked at and worked on through the night tonight. Moving further to the south, the Carnarvon fire, particularly in the northern end of the fire, that's quite a large fire now, and again with the wind conditions, the extreme fire danger, that fire again has come under pressure under the control lines that are currently established. In and around Halford, that fire again has had active fire today, and they've certainly experienced extreme fire weather and extreme fire behaviour on that fire. Again, they've held the line on that fire today, but certainly they're working hard to make sure that that doesn't become uncontrolled. We've had some new outbreaks today, as far as right up into Midge Point, which I believe is just south of Airlie Beach, Low Mead, just in the Gladstone area, and I'm just of the understanding just happening now is fresh information that a fire in and around the North Burnett near Jurong has just broken out, and they're putting out a warning on that as we speak. So as you can appreciate, the extreme fire weather that we've experienced today, we are really looking forward to some easing of conditions. Whilst we're experiencing some easing of conditions in the southeast, with certainly cooler weathers, and there's been some spasmodic rain, we're hoping that we can take the opportunity to work on the lines that are established across those larger fires into the coming days ahead of any potential increase in fire danger that may well occur into next week. Happy to take any questions.
The Undullah fire, I know it's calmed down quite a bit overnight, but what made it strike up so quickly? It was labelled as a deadly fire or not?
Certainly, it's always the wind and the wind-driven fire that we're receiving. The temperature, humidity, and then of course the wind is the driving factor that is causing us the grief the most in the dry conditions that we've got.
And that had any impact on our houses? Or?
It certainly at one stage did threaten property, but it was brought under control fairly quickly.
There's been some reports that people between Tara and Chinchilla didn't get those emergency messages when they were issued the other day. How are they worked out? Is that something that it would have been a postcode related thing? Why would they potentially miss those messages?
Well, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, sure, thank you. Good afternoon. So the emergency alerts are based around geofencing, so we have a look at a particular area. In relation to that, I would have to follow it up and get back to you, but what can happen is we lose a cell tower, which can impact that. But our absolute effort is to get the messages out as quickly as we possibly can and as broadly as we need to get the messages through. I don't have that direct information, but I'll chase it up and get back to you.
Is QFES aware of anyone that did miss that information when it was issued around?
It's a factor in every emergency alert that we issue. Some people feel they get the information unnecessarily, and others feel that they didn't get it. It is something that we're constantly attuned to and we're always working on. I can talk you through the people in evacuation centres at the moment. We have 237 people in the Dalby Evacuation Centre. Importantly, that includes most of the people from the Tara area, because we closed the Tara Evacuation Centre yesterday. As at 10 minutes ago, we have 37 people in the Chinchilla Evacuation Centre, and we have another 9 in Millmerran Evacuation Centre, but we will be closing the Millmerran Evacuation Centre today with alternative accommodation for all of those folks there. We have multiple road closures across Queensland, and again I would urge people, please don't drive into these areas unless it's absolutely necessary. Excuse me. Now is not the time to go sightseeing, and if you don't need to travel through areas that are impacted by fire and smoke and visibility, please don't travel through there. Your best advice we can give you is to go to QLD Traffic, Queensland Traffic, which has up-to-date road closures on it. Excuse me. Can confirm that we still remain at 1 fire-related death. Very sad for the man that lost his life in the Tara area. As we've previously reported, a woman also lost her life as a result of natural causes associated with an evacuation for the fire, but not directly caused by that. I'm very pleased to report that we have no current active missing persons, and all evacuees are currently accounted for. We have emergency alerts at the moment. We have leave immediately warnings for Jurong and Tara, and we also have watch and act, prepare to leave warnings in the Mount Isa area. Just want to underscore to everybody the nature of what we're dealing with at the moment. We have variable fire dangers across the state. As my colleague from QFS has just said, we have a slight easing in fire pressures at the moment in the southeast. The expectation is that that won't remain. We urge people to remain vigilant. We still have many local government areas with total fire bans. We would urge people to be very careful with anything they do that may create an ignition or a spark. Be happy to take any questions.
What's the reason for the Millmerran shelters to be closed?
So we've come to a point now where Millmerran is no longer the focal point. The numbers reduce and we find alternative accommodation for them. A lot of people stay with family and friends, or we put them in hotel accommodation.
And when QFS or QPS can't get that text out, is that when your officers will go to the door, they know sort of which areas are affected?
Yes, we do both. So we put the messages out and we also door knock. Not everybody has a mobile phone, obviously. This is a standard practice across Australia and something that we do all the time. We aim to get it right on every occasion, but you can imagine in the circumstances we can't always get the messages to everybody as quickly as we want. So we have multiple layers to address that.
Maybe one for fire. In comparison to last year, how are we sitting? Does it look like this year? Well, it's a little bit early to tell, I guess, but
Yeah,
how do we look so far?
it's certainly a more active season this year compared to last year. Last year was still coming off the last of the 3 wetter years. It'll be interesting to see how we travel in the next 2 to 3 weeks with a warmer temperature, with of course summer is only next week away. So the challenge is still going to be, as I spoke about just before, the wind. And the wind has been extraordinarily strong this year. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, there was a press release with the Premier earlier today, and I saw the wind conditions they are experiencing on the ground. It was quite strong, and it's been forecast of gusty from time to time. That does not help us for one moment in relation to the fire behaviour and the erratic nature that can create for a fire.
Just update on what people in those areas could be doing as far as safety goes.
But one of the key messages, and you all need to be congratulated on the interest that you are taking and the message that you're helping us to get out, and that is to be prepared. Have a plan, know what your plan is, and be prepared to enact your plan. Know where to go, know what to do, know what to take, and know who to contact. So one of the challenges that we've had throughout this number of weeks that we've been going now is that people have been certainly concerned that they weren't getting the updates. If they don't go and register with their evacuation centre, if they're not known to us, it's very difficult for us to get the information to them. The main thing is to remain vigilant, adhere to the warnings, understand the warnings, and what do the warnings mean for you? What are you going to do as a result of those warnings?
Deputy Commissioner.
Yes.
30 homes is quite a lot of properties to have been lost. Could anything have been done, better to prevent all those, that loss of property?
Yeah, and wildfire is one of the issues that is most difficult to address, and at its absolute heart, what we ask people to do is to prepare for the fire well and truly ahead of time. So all of us can do that. The fire conditions, and certainly, as Peter said, the wind play a major part in this. The way that, right around the world, the way to manage wildfire is every fire that's ever been lit, every fire that's ever been problematic, eventually goes out. What we have to do as a community is get people out of harm's way, out of the way of the fire. Most of these you can't just put out. You can mitigate them, you can slow them down, eventually get on top of them, but we try to get people out of harm's way, and then we try to protect structures. The issue that you face is when you have so many fires and the fires are going so quickly, we focus on the people. And the structures, unfortunately, while you lose them, and we try not to, they are something that we can ultimately replace. Our primary focus is the protection of life. But you raise a very good point, and any message that we can get through you guys to let people know now, if people are watching this right now and they haven't cleaned their gutters out and they haven't got an emergency plan and a fire safety plan, the time to do that is now. It's not when you see the smoke on the horizon or you think there might be a fire in your area. So really pleased if you guys could help us get that message out. The time to plan is when you're safe.
Sorry, Peter, just been switching back and forth. The weather today, we're obviously had a lot of rain around the city. Is that sort of filtered through the Tara region? How's the weather looking the next few days?
It's very, as I said, it's very hit and miss. So whilst we're enjoying, I think it's 20 degrees here today, it's quite cool. Some said it was cold, and we've had a little bit of rain. The challenge is where we need the rain and need substantial rain, like we need more than 60 mil plus of rain to make a difference. So if I can give you a small example, 5 millimetres of rain will be evaporated within 12 to 24 hours. It doesn't do anything to ease the conditions that we've got. So we are certainly enjoying the cooler periods that we've got here on the coast. However, I really feel, and we should give a heartfelt thanks to our volunteers, the staff, the permanent staff that have actually come back off leave from fire and rescue. Our auxiliaries that have given up their time from their employers. Their employees need to be recognised for releasing those people to come and assist us. The volunteers that have left their employer to come and help us, or if they're self-employed, that means that they're not then receiving an income to go and help and fight these fires to protect the community which they have a passion for. They have a love for these people. And we need to admire them, we need to thank them, we need to recognise them for what it is that they're doing for us.
And other firefighters in the area, have we had any city units coming into this sort of Tara region?
Absolutely. So as you can appreciate, our fire and rescue colleagues, which we work very closely with, this is a united force. We all come together during operations to help each other. They have strengths that they can offer us. They have the capability of protecting and putting in measures around houses that we don't necessarily have. So their manpower, the ability for them to come in and support the work that the rural volunteers are doing is immeasurable. We need to be doing this collaboratively as a team, and we do. We get together on the ground and we work as hard as we can to protect our fellow community member. Nothing further. Can I thank you again for the opportunity, and I wish you a good day.